Mbuzi yavonye mwerera azoka Chamisa muharare manyukunyuko au ya mukomana kwese bari kwimbasiya ijwake yapinde uyo au ya Chamisa mukumburi wezana azoka mukomana au ya Chamisa mukumburi wezana au ya mudariro.
Ladies and gentlemen, in today's commentary we have lessons taught in 2017. It started as most Zimbabwean political earthquakes now do. On X, formerly Twitter, Nelson Chamisa posted what he called a lasting solution for Zimbabwe. In it, he declared that ignoring the 2023 stolen election was like ignoring the root of the national crisis. He warned that corruption and suffering were mere symptoms of a deeper disease, a disputed mandate. Within minutes, a user replied urging him to tell his people to join Blessed Geza's October 17 protest against Mnangagwa's regime. Chamisa's response was short, sharp, and viral. 2017 taught us a big lesson. Hope Ochingono quickly amplified it, reminding the world that Chamisa had once stood beside the late Morgan Tsvangirai in supporting the 2017 coup. The same coup that delivered Mnangagwa to power on a tank and a promise. That one reply, just 6 words, reopened the wounds of 2017 and exposed how far Zimbabwe has fallen since the so-called new dispensation promised milk, honey, and free Wi-Fi. When Nelson Chamisa said 2017 taught us a big lesson, the internet went wild, because deep down, every Zimbabwean knows exactly what lesson that was. The same lesson that keeps replaying every time fuel prices rise. When Geza disappears for 10 hours, or when a loaf of bread costs half your salary. The lesson that the so-called Second Republic was just a first-class ticket to the same old misery, only with new faces wearing designer suits bought from corruption profits. Let's not get it twisted. Chamisa wasn't defending the system. He was reminding Zimbabweans that the 2017 coup didn't bring freedom. It brought a franchise of deception. It was the political version of downloading change.zip, only to open it and find the same virus that ruined the first file. Remember the promises: jobs, reforms, open for business, end of corruption, and dialogue with the opposition. Mnangagwa took those promises, printed them on billboards, and then personally set them on fire in front of the Reserve Bank while declaring Vision 2030. Now we are sitting in 2025, and the only vision most people have is blurry because they can't afford glasses or food. Mnangagwa came riding on a military tank, claiming to be the Moses who would lead Zimbabwe out of the Mugabe wilderness. Instead, he built a toll gate in the desert and started charging the poor for every breath of hope. He said Zimbabwe is open for business, but somehow it became Zimbabwe is open for business if your surname ends with Ngagwa or starts with Tagwi. The real tragedy of 2017 isn't that Mugabe was removed. It's that Mnangagwa replaced a dictator with a board of directors, or shareholders in national suffering. They turned state institutions into vending stores for loyalty. The police became rent seekers. The army became a private security company. And the parliament? It's now a choir that sings, "Yes, Your Excellency," in every key. Chamisa's point, and this is what makes Mnangagwa shiver, is that Zimbabwe's crisis didn't start with the economy. It started with the theft of power. A disputed election in 2023 cannot be solved by pretending it never happened. It's like a man trying to fix a roof leak by repairing the ceiling. The water will still come through, only now it's mixed with lies. The irony is painful. Mnangagwa, who once claimed to have listened to the voice of the people, now only hears the sound of his own praise singers. The same man who said the voice of the people is the voice of God now treats dissent like blasphemy. And the same military that once called itself the People's Army has now turned into the president's property. So yes, Chamisa is right. 2017 did teach us a lesson. It taught us that a coup against tyranny can give birth to another tyranny with a nicer suit. It taught us that those who promise democracy through the barrel of a gun will eventually turn that gun toward the same people they claimed to liberate. And now, as October 17 approaches, with Blessed Geza calling for mass protest, the regime is trembling again. Not because people are violent, but because the truth is. The truth that Mnangagwa has failed. The truth that the so-called Second Republic is now just the First Republic with a new number plate. Zimbabweans are tired of false dawns. They are tired of being told to be patient by men who never queued for bread. The people don't need another coup, another slogan, or another fake vision. They need leaders who tell the truth, not those who build golden statues of failures and call it development. October 17 promises to usher in General Constantino Chiwenga as president of the Republic. Third Republic, you'd say, but is it going to be any different? As long as ZANU-PF is in power, is it going? ZANU-PF, including Chiwenga's camp, is on record saying that ZANU-PF will never reform itself out of power. Chiwenga himself is on record as saying he will never salute anyone who never went to war. So, Zimbabweans, if we participate in the October 17 revolution, is it going to usher in a new Zimbabwe? Mr. Geza, wherever you are, you left one thing. How are you going to deal with Chamisa? How are you going to deal with the opposition? How are you going to deal with Monzora? How are you going to deal with Manduku? It's blurry. In 2017, we were told Mnangagwa was going to unify Zimbabwe. But the moment Mnangagwa was in power, it was back to Chinuchedu. The thing was now a ZANU-PF thing and not a national thing. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Zimwaves TV, where truth still speaks even when the drums of propaganda are loud. Subscribe now and let's keep the fire of awareness burning. Looks like Geza needs to come back and clarify certain issues with the people before the 17 October Revolution. Ladies and gentlemen, the October Revolution is loading. Will it be inclusive or will it be again another Chinuchedu?